And we're on.
Mate, we're in a different location. We're in a different location tonight. We've moved the podcast, but we're here and we've got a special guest tonight coming all the way from lockdown state Melbourne at the moment, earthquake state Melbourne at the moment. We've had it all today.
Did you feel that one today?
It woke me up.
True.
Yeah, wow. So
yeah, I thought of like, because we have like trams going past, and trucks. So I just, sometimes it feels like the trucks like make the windows shake.
Yeah.
But as I was waking up, the missus was like, it's an earthquake.
Yeah, there's something going on. Yeah. So we didn't even say this is Zico.
Yeah.
Zico from Seiran.
Seiran. We said it wrong anyway.
You said it wrong again.
Don't worry, fellas. I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right.
There you go, right. Well, so look, it's open for interpretation, but to give you a bit of an introduction, obviously, I came across the band after you were sharing it in, I think it was Unified Social Club was the first place I saw it. Would that maybe sound right? You posted it in there.
Yeah, to be honest, I probably looked for every possible group.
Yeah.
To post it, I posted it in there. So
I've seen it in there. I've definitely seen it in the Metalcore group as well. I think maybe one other, maybe Gent shit posting or something like that. I've seen it in as well, maybe. And you were doing great work. Hey, look, it was one of those things where I see a lot of people share things, but then when I was seeing yours get shared a lot, and then I was seeing the comments, I was like, I got to check this shit out. Checked out The Void, which is one of the two songs that you've got out at the moment. Absolutely love it. My 4-year-old son loves it. Like every time it comes on, because it's in my Spotify playlist, he gets down to it. So you're doing some good things there, man. So thanks for jumping on with us.
Amazing.
That's how the only way we know you is through seeing your song posted. So thanks for jumping on Wormholes with us to have a chat, man.
Yeah. Let me just say first, thanks guys, and thanks to your phone, because leading up to the release, I had a lot of people not give me the vibe that they even liked it,
Yeah, okay.
So to see that all you guys really like it, that just means a lot. So thanks guys.
Yeah, fucking oath, man. I was on the way to the gym and he sent it to me and he's like, yo, suss this out. And it fucking made me throw hammers, bro. It was fucking, I like it.
It's good, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a working out song. That's for sure.
Yeah. So you're obviously deep into the metalcore, the metal realm, or what? Is that your go-to?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Deep.
Can you give me some of your, I guess, inspirations that you probably drew from in what you're trying to write? Obviously, I know you're trying to create your own sound, but is there some bands that come to mind when you think about the sounds that you enjoy personally?
Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah, dope.
North Lane, Seiran.
Yeah.
Era, you all the classics and stuff, but
yeah, fuck yeah.
I just really love that atmospheric stuff like Invent Animate.
Oh hell yeah! What's your favorite Invent Animate song?
Oh, I don't know. There's just so many songs, and it's hard to
think of that one.
Remember all the names. So I'm just gonna say
Celestial Floods is mine. Or Agora. Celestial Floods or Agora.
Oh, Celestial Floods, yeah, that is an absolute weapon of a tune.
Well, they're all fucking sick. So I can't pick one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Crystal Lake are huge as well. I've got to see them a couple of times. You got to see them with Polaris, that show I didn't go to because I was doing a fringe show because I'm a fucking idiot. But they're amazing, man. They've really stepped up their game recently. And same with Era. Obviously, we've talked a lot on this podcast about the latest Era album. I've been on them since Augment. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. Even their EP before that, I quite enjoy, but they've taken it to another level with their release this year, and I think that's a strong contender for album of the year, man. That has very, very good songs on it. So talk to us a little bit more about the band itself. Obviously, you are the guitarist and pretty much the brains behind a lot of the writing. Is that correct?
Yeah. And so currently, we have, over 30 songs. That's just an estimate. Yeah. And, about 15 I did with the producer.
Yeah.
So, obviously it was in lockdown last year where I had the time to figure out how to do the programming myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool.
But yeah, so I am the songwriter, but I also, with the with the Void up to, some, 10, 15 songs, I got to give credit to the producer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of
Can I
course.
shout him out?
Yeah, definitely. Who is it?
Ione Hackenberg from Ocean Sleeper.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I know Ocean Sleeper. Yeah.
Yeah. So, he's killing it with the production at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're killing it.
So did he do the production on the Void?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it turned out that was a really tight mix, actually.
Oh, bro, it's a very crisp song. That's what you notice straight away with that song, man, that everything is pretty fucking tight.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming, to be honest. Like, we started a lot of these songs like 2 years ago.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, okay.
And, ideally we wanted them to be out, last year, but, we all know how that goes. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, we definitely, like, myself and my housemate, we started, like, our current band, we started that in like late 2019, because I used to be a solo artist, and then I was like, fuck it, let's just start a band. And then basically, like, last year we were like, well, there's no chance of us playing shows, so we were kind of like, let's just stay like in studio mode and write songs, and then when they're ready to go, that way they're going to come out back to back and it's all going to be, good to go. So, like, saving the load,
I can't wait to see more of that, because I love new music. Especially love local new music. So
yeah, me too, man. Australian music, it's bar to none, I reckon, honestly. But we have some of the best music in the world, like especially hardcore.
Yeah. Well, I've listened to, it from all over the world, and yet my favorite band at the moment would probably be Polaris, and it was Parkway Drive for a long time before that. And that's with listening to so much outside of Adelaide and Australia, and still holding those two, and then with North Lane in Hearts Wake right up there in my favorites as well. Like, and Make Them Suffer now as well. Like, we just produce good bands. So it's always, and look, as I said, we wanted to have you on because we see you grinding away and trying to get your name out there, and we're trying to do the same thing with our podcast, man. So any people that we can help, get the name out there. Obviously, you can help us get the name out there. It's all worth it, man. We're trying to grind, and as you said, in unprecedented times of what we're facing at the moment, we need this more than ever to be supporting each other. So. How many, so going back to the band again, how many members in the band, like how many instruments, like what's the actual makeup of the band? If you were taking the stage tomorrow, what would it look like?
Okay, so we have the vocalist Shintaro. He's from Japan.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
And okay, so we met here.
Yeah.
Let me tell the whole story, and it'll probably answer a few questions.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go your hardest. The floor is yours.
Yeah.
So Shintaro, like, I remember first coming onto him when I saw him post on, Facebook in one of those groups, looking to start like a pop punk band.
Mm-hmm.
And he listed some other like influences, like post-hardcore and metalcore influences. I thought that was kind of interesting, but I just thought, I'll even just chat to this guy, just to find some friends,
Yeah, for sure.
And I showed him a couple of songs, and he was like, "Oh yeah, it's cool." But I think at that point he was trying to do the pop punk thing, because he used to have a band back in Japan, but obviously that didn't work out, and so like. It's a long story, so let me.
That's right. We're good.
My first podcast as well, so like,
it's all good.
It's all good, man. Don't stress.
Do not stress. We're only 51 episodes in as well, so it's not like we're absolute veterans of the game. That's why we're trying new things, getting people on and whatever else. So yeah, no, take your time, man.
Thank you, guys. So. Yeah, he was trying to do the pop punk thing, and he said the songs were cool, and that was that. Didn't really hear back after that. But then in about 2019, Dealer were doing a headline show at Workers Club in Fitzroy.
Yep.
And through a friend that I was going with, I saw that he was like attending the show as well. So, I ended up talking to him some more there, and then I gave him a lift home. And I showed him the songs again, and after that, he was just like blown away, and he was like, "Oh shit, dude, let's start working on something like straight away."
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing how?
Um,
Isn't that amazing how when you've just gone to a show, I've had this with a few bands before where someone showed me new music after I've been at an amazing show, and for some reason I'm listening so much harder after just having my ears blown off to like music. You know what I mean? Like it's the time to soak something brand new in because you're just like so in the mood for music. And that's clearly what happened.
Yeah.
You know, you showed him at that perfect time where he's just like, holy shit, this is crazy.
But yeah, so me and Shintaro, we were working on the songs for I can't even remember how long, but we were chipping away at that, and we couldn't really find the right people to be with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so we just kept working on it, and eventually the Crystal Lake show came about, with Polaris and all that, and I bought a few tickets for like some friends, and they couldn't make it. And then I ended up selling a ticket to a friend who, through that on Facebook, there was a mutual. And I don't know, like just trying to be a music, like start a band for like over 10 years, you just get pretty desperate because
that's it.
You can't do a band without people. So, I was just like,
exactly. Yeah.
I was just looking, I just like look at people's Facebooks, and if they play guitar or drums or whatever, I'm like, hey, I'll just send them a message, and through that connection, I found the drummer, Catherine.
Cool.
And because if I hadn't gone to that show, then I probably would have never met her,
Yeah. Cool.
And then the Crystal Lake did another show on, the Monday or the Tuesday or whatever. And that's where we met Michael.
And what does he do?
Oh, he plays guitar, sorry.
His guitar, yeah.
All right, he's the other guitarist, yeah.
So, look, what I just the message I want to send home is that, like, take your chances and make friends,
Yeah, that's it, man. Well, that's what music's about. That's what I've always found, that especially in the hardcore scene, that's what it's about. It's like if someone's, moshing in the pit and then they get knocked over and stuff like that, there's 5 people rushing in to pick them back up again, like it's that kind of vibe especially in the heavy music scene. And like in your case, how you've gone out there and you've just met these people and you've formed a band and you've released these couple of songs that are absolutely slappers, it's really, it's really good, dude.
Well, even for us two here, when we met many years ago, you were actually doing like Oz hip hop stuff at the time, and we were just hanging out. We had mutual friends. We were having a few beers, and they were listening to Oz hip hop. And I'm not massive on it, but I know a bit. But then as the night progressed, someone like put, I think, Parkway or something on, and then that was just like we just went off on a tangent of talking about metal, and then that's how we like became close friends. Was like bonding over metal more than anything. And now we're doing a fucking podcast a few years later. So it's amazing how much of a conversation, and like when you're passionate about the music as well, you can talk about it for forever. So it's such a good thing. And you're right, you gotta hustle, man, and that's what you've been doing. You've been doing that to find band members. You've been doing that to get your song listened to, man. You're absolutely killing it. So do not stop that at all. And the public speaking thing will come along with it. The bigger you get, man, the more you're gonna have to do these kind of interviews.
Yeah, that's it, bro.
We're giving you the little bit of training early, right?
Thank you, guys.
Not a problem. Go on, finish the story.
What I want to tell, like, all the other Australian bands is because I feel they're a bit shy about posting their stuff. I'm not saying you have to spam it as hard necessarily. It's just that, you never know who you're going to find online. You might find like these lifelong relationships just from being online,
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, I already know that as soon as we release this podcast episode, I'm going straight to those Shane pages to share this episode. We can get a few people to listen to us have a conversation, man. So, so obviously the plan once things do calm down a bit, you guys want to play live shows? Is that the goal? Or are you just wanting to release songs? Like what's the or a bit of both?
Bit of both. Like short answer, bit of both.
Yeah.
But it's just hard. Being an independent band and just starting out. and not being able to get out there to play gigs and, you know, network and all that. It's just,
yeah, man. It's a hard time.
it's just so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you've got, I mean, look, we've just had the Polaris show that was postponed. We've had the Full Tilt Festival that's been postponed. So hard to even commit to trying to do a show at these moments, because the likelihood of it going ahead is so slim, and you got to put so much work into promoting it and all, especially for a small, you know, trying to get a small show. You're not on a festival lineup or whatever. So much work to put in, where it is in a time where it's probably just easier to be making the music and releasing it and trying to get people's ears on it that way, because it's going to be harder to, you know, get everyone to a show when they're constantly being cancelled and postponed.
I have to give credit to bands that are like online bands, more, you know, mostly online bands. I mean, just look at, you know, Spirit Box. Or, you know, do you guys know Bill Murray?
No.
Oh, guys, you got to check Bill Murray out.
So it's just a band called Bill Murray, like as
Bill Murray.
It's spelled differently, but it's. Do you know Johnny Frank from Attack Attack?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's his, you know, solo sort of thing.
Okay, cool.
And
how's it spelled?
At one point, BILMURI, one word.
Oh, yes. So, okay, I've always read that as something like Bill Murray or something.
I thought you meant like Bill Space Murray.
Yeah.
It sounds like a country singer, man.
Well, you know Bill Murray, like the actor.
Yeah.
That's from like, what's he from?
I don't know what he's from. He's from fucking
Forrest Gump? No, that's Tom Hanks. But yeah, I've always read that. I know the band you're talking about now, but I've always read it as like, Bill Murray or something like that. Always going to be like, but Bill Murray sounds, Bill
Murray.
That's amazing.
Look, I have to give credit to, you know, just going out there and doing gigs as well. But I think the path to success is somewhere in the middle. You can't just dwell on live shows, because, you know, I don't want to like brag about the stuff, like how well our stuff is going, but we haven't even played a single show, and you know, all this stuff is happening behind the scenes, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, it's like probably another good example of that is, do you know I Built the Sky, the guitarist?
Oh, yeah.
They just dropped another EP, man. He's gone bananas now as well. Like, and I've had his songs from his original EP in my playlist for 5 or 6 years, but they were getting almost nothing, none of the attention that they deserved. Like, I loved them. They're some of my favorite tracks, but there was just nothing. They were like 1,000 play songs. And he's just kept grinding and grinding and grinding. And I don't think he's ever really played live shows. And it's hard for an instrumental only person to really be able to thrive on like a lineup of big heaviness. You know what I mean? Like, so it is something that has to find its space online. And he just didn't stop. And, 6 years later, now he's got tracks out there with millions of views. It's, that's an absolute testament to that. Just got to keep going and get your name out there. And you never know when that one song is just going to pop off.
I saw I Built the Sky's first show, I think.
Wow, dude. How long ago?
It was like 2015, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's about when
he came out. He was opening for Pliny and the Helix Nebula.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that sounds about right.
That is the ultimate I Built the Sky lineup right there, isn't it?
And the guys in the band, doing the live instruments were the Helix Nebula.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
Cool.
So that was a wild time.
Yeah, it would have been.
Nice.
I've always wanted to see. They've come here a couple of times, but I've not been able to get to see them. Intervals, man. I'm a massive Intervals fan. I think they are just insane, the sound that they create, and I hope that they get back here one time because they always put on a lot when they come here. It's that lineup of like Intervals headlines, and then you've got your Pliny, I Built the Sky, whatever, normally as the local supports for those shows when they come here. So I'd love to be able to get to see them one time live.
I saw Intervals do a show with Pliny, actually.
There you go. See, you knew exactly what I was doing. Yeah, dude, that was crazy.
Yeah, go on.
No, I said, was it crazy? Was it good? Was it amazing?
Oh, yeah. I was a bit munted that night, so
Yeah.
Been there, man.
So I really want to dig into your music making, like what do you call it? Your DNA, your process, your DNA. Yeah. So when it comes to, you were saying that you wanted to do more, was atmospheric and kind of, you know, you really wanted to make your own sound. What were you going to be doing differently to make yourself like stand out? Are you going to be trying different kind of tunings, or, you know, what?
Oh, yeah. I thought about it, you know, because, you know, you asked me before, so I thought about it, and, you know, it's different tunings, different sort of like harmonics.
Yeah.
Like I really want to get into that at some point, but, you know, just got to wait for the song release, you know.
So do you program your own like synths and pianos and violins and all that?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, not for the stuff I did with the producer.
Yeah.
But I have been having a lot of fun at home. You know, I'll shout out a few companies if you want.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Anybody listening, or if you guys are into it, there's this one software that I discovered like last week. It's called Vital.
So what was it called?
Similar to like Vital, VITAL.
Vital. Okay, yeah, you dropped out for a second, so I couldn't quite hear it.
Yeah, so it's similar to like Seiran.
Yep.
But, you know, you can do a lot of stuff for free, but the whole program is like maybe $100. That's pretty good, you know.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Considering how expensive and all that.
Yeah, Seiran's like $300, $400 or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, and like then you've got like all the isotope iris and kind of synths as well. I use a lot of like stuff that I use is with the Arturia Pigments. Have you heard of that one before?
No, I'll have to check it out because I love.
Yeah, I fucking love it, man. I love it.
So what does it do?
It's like it's basically like it's a synth, right? But you can put in like your own samples and granulate them and stuff like that. And then it's got a whole bunch of its own like inbuilt effects. So it's got reverbs, delays, distortions, compressors, and all that kind of stuff. It's basically like an all-in-one, like synth.
Dude, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
You'll have to send me a link later.
Yeah, dude, for sure. We'll do. Yeah. So what guitars have you got there? What are you rolling with? I see a couple in the background there. Looks like is that an Ormsby?
Yeah, that's an Ormsby.
Yeah, nice. I've got one too.
Got a Music Man over here. I really like this one.
Yeah, nice.
Actually, yeah, I like this one because of like the floating trem. You know, it's like really hard to like change the tuning.
Yeah. What have you got that one set up in?
I dropped G, but when I first bought it, it was in B standard. So, you know, I didn't get it taken to like get it set up in a different tuning for a while. So I had to play in B standard.
Yeah.
But, you know, each tuning sort of has its own little, you know, like gems and little things that the other ones can't.
Has its own resonance, right?
Go on, show him.
It's almost like its own language, you know?
I'll show you this custom. I'll show you because it's sitting right here. I'll show you my custom one that myself and a friend built.
Dude, I'm a fucking guitar nerd, so I love that shit. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So we built that one probably like a year and a half ago. But yeah, so I've been jamming. This one's up in drop F at the moment. But I've got like an 8-string and an Ormsby and all that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, we love the low tunings as well, man.
Any plans on making any more?
In terms of making guitars, I don't know. If I had unlimited money, I'd say so.
No.
but
and time.
And time. That's it. Yeah, and time. But I really want to get another headless Ormsby, and I want to get the Telecaster because I really like Telecaster shape. If you couldn't tell from that guitar, I really want to get the TX, the Ormsby TX as well.
Dude, I'm the biggest guitar nerd. I think I spend a good portion of my years just like checking out guitars and just like, you know, just.
So how long?
I think I make music just to play guitars, to be honest.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude, fuck yeah. How long you been playing for? How'd you get into it? Tell us about your guitar, you know, playing journey.
Yeah, okay. So it started when, I was in year 7, and a bunch of these other dudes, they were like, sort of like the cool dudes. They had like long hair and stuff, and they play guitar. I was like, oh, that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
And they went to like the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Foo Fighters and all that.
Yep.
So that's when I needed to learn how to play guitar, because just the sounds that were making.
Yeah. And there's so many
crazy
sounds you can make with it, man. There's so many sounds.
Yeah. And so I guess my mum bought me like an Ashton.
Yeah, I had an Ashton as my first guitar. It's like the Australian classic. Really.
Yeah, of course. And it was kind of like you have to crank the gain up to max.
Yeah.
No pedals, just like crank the gain and thrash away.
Did you get a metal zone with it? The pedal?
No. But probably sounded better without the metal zone.
Yeah. What are you using now for amps then? If we're gonna nerd out on the gear.
To be honest, living in an apartment, I just use like some software.
Yeah. What are we talking about? Neural DSP or?
Oh, not even. I have been using Sigma by Audio Salt.
Okay.
And you get
right.
I think they're based in Mexico, and you can get the whole thing for like $20-$30 or whatever. But like at the time, I got it because they were doing free downloads, so got it for free.
Yeah, if you can get it sounding good for free, mate, what more do you want?
I mean, something that people get caught up in is about the gear and stuff, but eventually you just got to move on and just work on the songs.
You just got to find out, really, exactly right. You just got to find out what inspires the creativity, really, at the end of the day. You can have a $20 plugin or a $5,000 Axe Effects unit, right? But at the end of the day, if you're not writing music, you're not writing music.
Don't get me wrong, I love all that stuff. And, if back to the money thing, of course, it'd be sick to have all that stuff, but, it's just not a reality. And the truth is, I don't think the audience really knows. I don't think they can tell.
Nah, definitely not.
That's where, again, it comes down to just playing and working on your craft and your ability. And there's a middle ground. Obviously, you want to have something that's better than what you can pick up down at Target as an electric guitar, but you also need to be able to use the thing that you're buying, man. So it's about finding that middle ground between being able to do what you want to do with something that's capable of doing it as well.
You just got to use your ears and stuff,
Yeah. Finger is in the tone is in the fingers is what they always say.
And at the end of the day, life is just so busy. Like there's no time just to be processing.
So outside of music, man, what do you get up to?
Oh, not a lot.
Not a lot.
Do you have to work full time or?
Yeah, I work, but other than playing music and just eating and stuff and just hanging out with friends, sometimes it's like There's no energy for anything else.
Yeah.
Well, for us now, obviously we work and then we've got podcasts. I do a bit of stand-up comedy. You work on your band and then hanging with friends. And really that is about all there's time for. No other, we're not into stamp collecting or anything. We don't have other
we don't collect
extracurricular hobbies.
Coins.
Honestly, playing games sounds like a good time. It looks like a good time. But for me, my mind just doesn't work like that. It's just like, I just feel too guilty that I could be doing something instead,
Prefer to be creative.
Well, your hustle demonstrates that, my man. I see that you're using any free time to make sure people's ears are getting on your stuff. So, and look, and I know that feeling though. Even I have that with the podcast because I sort of manage as you know, I reached out to you saying, "Hey, jump on the podcast." I manage a lot of the social media side of things, and sometimes when I am just doing something else or sitting on my phone, mucking around, doing whatever, I'm like, oh, I could be fucking hustling right now and getting sharing this link, doing whatever. So yeah, I know that feeling all too well. You don't want to waste time.
Hey, can I be honest for a second?
Yeah.
I'm having a really good time right now.
Good, bro. Fuck yeah, dude.
That's exactly
I'd love to jump back on another time at some point, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we will be keeping well up on track with the progress of the band, and we'll be getting you on. Hopefully, you won't get too much of a megastar, and you'll outgrow us as a podcast. But look, this is why we wanted to do it, man. Like, obviously, I did a massive Adelaide Fringe with stand up last year, and when we went into lockdown, as soon as stand up finished, me and Ryan here had talked about doing a podcast, and when we couldn't do anything else, and I obviously couldn't go and do stand-up shows, I was like, now's the time. We got to start something. We came up with the name Wormholes, obviously based on the song by Volumes, because I always get shit because every time we're having drinks, I play that song a fucking 20 times a night because I fucking love it. So like, let's call the podcast Wormholes, and this is why we wanted to do it, man. We wanted to be able to sit here and, have good conversations, even if it's just with us two, or start to branch out and have conversations with particularly, music people as well, people that focus on mental health. Like, that's really what this podcast has been about, man. So you coming on here, obviously feeling a little bit nervous, but saying that you're having a great time is the best feedback we could possibly get. So thank you very much.
I'll be honest with you again. Like, I think one of my hobbies that, it wasn't really, I wouldn't call it a hobby, but like I did go enjoy odd stand-up show here or there. So I'd love to come check out a show one day.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll be able to travel at some point. And
hopefully we can
Have you been to Adelaide ever?
Nah.
There you go. Well, you're going to put that on the bucket list.
Yeah, now you're going to come down here and watch the show.
If it comes a time where you're able to fucking travel, I've got some contacts in the music world. You've got some contacts in the music world. The other guy who lives here has a lot more contacts than both of us. If you want to bring the band down one time and try and put a show in on Adelaide, we could definitely help you try and hook that up, my man.
Oh, beautiful, guys. I love it.
And then I'll organize a stand-up show while you're down here.
That's it.
We'll give you the whole experience.
We'll have to do the Tool and I'm blanking on his name. What's his name? He's a comedian that he's quite famous. He's like bros with Tool. Well, he was.
Are you talking about Joe Rogan?
No.
Bros with Tool, like Tool as in the band.
As in the band Tool?
Yeah.
There's a comedian that's bros with them.
Oh, he was. I mean, he passed away since then, but he's Bill Hicks.
Oh, Bill Hicks. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So I think, Tool would get him to open up the show a couple times.
Yeah. I've done MC stuff before, man. Yeah, that'd be it.
I'm a long road.
Look at us. We're just riffing now, man. We're just getting the ideas out into the stratosphere.
So in terms of in the future for your band and whatnot, what are we talking? Are we talking an album? Are we talking more singles?
Well,
you got 30. Did you say you got 30 songs already?
Yeah, 30 songs. It's hard because it feels like each song is getting better than the last. So it's like
that's it, bro.
And each time finishing those other songs, it's like I just can't believe I wrote that. But then you jump back on the horse and then have it all over again.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, so you want to get an album out there eventually, though, a full album?
Yeah. But let me run my thought. Obviously, it's such contention between releasing an EP and an album because releasing an album, it feels like you put so much into it, and everything costs money. So every song costs money, and every song, it's not just money. It's like you got to put in the thought into it, and then you release it, and then people have forgotten about it already, And it completely works against the favor of the Spotify algorithm,
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. People these days go to the songs that then end up there'll be the few that get the most plays off that album, and they'll be like, oh, they must be the good ones. And they hit play on those. And then you've got 6, 9 songs or whatever on an album that never get the listen that they deserve because people are just following the herd in terms of the ones that they actually check out.
Oh, yeah, that's everything these days. In terms of marketing, well, I know that what we're going to do with our band is we're only going to release singles basically, man. Yeah, well, I mean, we might do a whole bunch of singles that end up being classified together as an EP or something.
Yep.
But it's like you can milk so much more marketing and so much more hype and so much more stay time on social media and stay time on radio and whatnot if you're just dropping singles these days. People don't care about albums, which sucks, because I do like myself a good album. But yeah, you're never going front to back on an album these days. You're just picking your favorites out.
And because we don't buy CDs anymore.
Yeah, and because we don't buy CDs.
We don't buy. That's why an album was amazing before, because you make the best so that people are like, this album is amazing, and you go and purchase it from the shops. No one's buying fucking hard copies anymore. So you need like a lot of what the bands are doing now. And you'll notice that, like, you'll notice on Spotify how you see a song come up and you're like, why isn't that in my liked list? But it's because there's a single version of that song, and then that's got a different cover. Yeah, and then there's the EP version of it that then has 6 songs in it, and they've all got a different cover. And then if they then release an out, you know what I mean? So you end up getting like different versions. And yes, that might hurt you in terms of like, oh, now I've got 2 different play counts for the same song. But you're also going to get, that ability to
market it
push
twice,
it, market it twice. Exactly. So that makes a lot of sense. Well, look, we've got a set of questions that we ask every single guest that we have on the podcast. They're nice and easy, so they're not going to cause you too much grief. Do you care if we get stuck into those before we wrap it up?
Look, let me wrap up the topic about EPs and albums.
Yeah, of course.
And if you were to just do like the singles and EPs, and you get like a whole bunch of people complaining, oh, why didn't you put out an album? It's like, the money's not there anymore. No one's like, if you could just like do albums, then obviously everybody would, but it's like the landscape has changed so much.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
And I didn't really like believe in the Spotify model, but I think I've come around. Like, sure, they don't pay you a lot. That's like one thing, but I think once you start putting more songs out, like it does start to, tip over into, going from 10,000 streams into like 100,000 into, a million.
Yeah, because then you start popping up on people's mixes and their playlists and then their friends' playlists, and you just get thrown into the algorithm, mate.
Yeah. So look, just my advice to any bands trying to get out there would be make friends, go online, make friends, support, other bands and artists and stuff, and try and work with the algorithm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And have good branding.
Oh, mate. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And make sure that you're putting that shit everywhere it can possibly go, man. That's the thing that's worked for you. It's why we're here right now. So you can't just sit, release something and be like, oh, why isn't it getting places? You got to put in the hard work as well. And it's the same thing for the podcast,
Yeah.
If we didn't put in the yards that we have just trying to make people's ears get around it, we probably wouldn't still be going now and, whatever else. So it's definitely about making sure that you put in the hard work after the work's done to get it up. You know what I mean? You make that song. That's not the work done. The work is also making sure that because it's hard. People have such short attention spans. People have so little time in their day. So you got to find a way to catch that little finite minute of attention that they've got to spend it on whatever it is that you're trying to, get them to listen to, because that the product's good enough that if you can catch that time, that they're going to come back. And that's what it is for the podcast. Same for you as well. If you can get them in, then like myself, I heard it, I added it straight to my Spotify list, that it's in there forever now. It'll come up on random as many times as I'm shuffling.
When I'm at work, I do listen to a lot of podcasts. So I really appreciate having a new podcast to put on the playlist.
Yeah. Awesome. Fucking oath, man.
Well, you'll get a whirlwind of it won't just be music stuff you'll be hearing about. You'll be hearing about
we've done so much.
George Bush and 9/11 you'll be hearing about.
We can go deep into that if you want. But,
well, we probably don't have the time today, but when we have you back on, we'll steer clear of music and we'll talk all about that. All right, well let's get into these questions, shall we?
Yep.
Question number 1, and always my favorite question to ask. What is your favorite song of all time? And if that's hard, we always say that, and then we say, give us a top 3.
You can do a top 3.
You can do a top 3, but then try and narrow it down to 1 if you can.
It's so hard, but I'll just, they won't be the exact ones, but like, they're all, it's like, your children. It's like, how do you say? Like,
yes, That's the best answer we've had so far. It's like asking me what's my favorite kid. You'd always have.
Like, what's your favorite food? It's just like there's so many things, but
yeah.
I'll shout out.
That's what makes the question the question.
Yeah.
Really, isn't it? Like,
I'll shout out "Beloved" by Crystal Lake. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gravedigger by Architects. That's a
classic.
Classic. It's so hard because even in each band, it's so hard to pick one song out of an entire catalog.
Give us one more for a top three.
One more.
It's too hard, Rose. I can't.
Yeah, I've got Gravedigger in my head now. Fucking parasite.
All right. So we'll whip you with question 2. Who's your favorite comedian? Now, it doesn't have to be stand-up. It could be a comedic actor as well.
I didn't mind Arch Barker for a while.
Oh, dude, I love Arch
He's
Barker.
so good.
Have you seen Flight of the Conchords, this TV show?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I fucking love that show. He's so good.
It's so weird that he's he's pretty much like an Australian now. Like he lives in Melbourne, but nobody really knows about him in America.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's always been so massive here, but not a comedian they talk about as being a massive comedian in America ever. But he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's so good, man.
He's been brought up on the podcast before,
Yeah.
I think. We talk about, I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's on YouTube. A joke that he does about the watches and how far underwater they can go.
No, I don't remember.
If you look up Arch Barker watches one time, it's on YouTube. And my God, it's one of my favorite jokes of stand-up ever.
Yeah, it's delivered so well.
But look, I'm just gonna have to say Arch Barker because they're all, it's like the music. It's hard to say who's better than the other. But
yeah,
I'll shout out Arch Barker because he works hard. So
absolutely,
yeah.
I've seen a few of his fringe shows here in Adelaide, and he's never disappointed me. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Question number 3. You go. You go.
Not just he's Australians love him. I just don't understand how. Because I've listened to quite a lot of Joe Rogan and friends. I stopped since he went to Spotify. Because he went a bit he changed a little bit.
You reckon he sold out?
Just a little bit, enough.
Yeah,
we do too.
But there's a lot of comedians that they get, they need their respect. I haven't seen Theo Von's sets, but every time he tells a story, it's hilarious.
Yeah,
his analogies of things. What's the thing is when there's a compilation that I've seen on Facebook where just the way he explains things, he's a bridge is just a road that's really brave. His way of thinking about things is like nothing I've ever heard before.
Yeah.
What is it? A deer is just a gay moose is the other one that I remember. Shit like that, dude. Just coming up with that is amazing.
Can I make a recommendation for a podcast for you guys?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of The Crab Feast?
Nah.
The Crab Feast?
Yeah.
No.
So it's Ryan Sickler and Jay Larson. They, because at work there's so much time to kill. So it's eventually I ran out of podcasts. So I started listening to them, and so the concept is just they sort of like this, but they interview comedians or actors or whoever.
Yeah.
And there's so many good stories, and the ones with Theo, they crack me up. So definitely worth a listen.
All right.
There's many stories, but they're just so funny.
All right, worth listen.
Yeah, dude, that sounds awesome. All right, question number 3 is: have you ever meditated before?
I guess, but I wouldn't say that it's for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, I've gone into the sensory deprivation tanks.
Oh, nice. We've actually talked about that before. We want to give it a try. Oh, I haven't done it before. I really want to do it.
Good to go.
Yeah.
Do a podcast from a sensory deprivation tank. How did you go with that? Did you not enjoy it, or?
Oh, it's good. It's good. I think the downside is like it's not cheap.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
But they're starting to become more common now, and everyone's talking about them. So perhaps it'll be something that ends up not being an arm and a leg at some point.
I remember Josh from North Lane. He was talking about it a lot. Like he was getting into it for a while, and obviously Joe Rogan, he never stops talking about that. So had to give it a go, and I like it, but it's just hard to share out the money all the time.
Yeah, of course.
To be able to do it consecutively. What's the fourth one? Conspiracy.
Fourth one, yeah. So what's one conspiracy that you dead set wholeheartedly believe in?
If any, you can say none. They're all bullshit. But if there's one that you're like, oh, this is absolutely, this is conspiracy.
The missing trillions of dollars, like
the black budget, the whole Pentagon thing. How they were like, hey, that hammer cost $48,000.
Yeah, well, it's just like I remember, seeing a video of like a hearing, and the people are asking, where's the money? And the best answer they can give is, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just so tough that people are fighting amongst each other, but it's like taking all the money for whatever, and it's been years since we discovered that, and
nothing's happened.
We're still just like the show goes on,
Yeah. And then like our, whatever it is, like the national budget for whatever country where this happens comes out, and we're like, well, we're this much in debt that we've got to, cut the funding to the hospitals and cut the funding to schools and raise taxes. But we're like, are we really in debt, or is this something that you guys have created? You know what I mean? It's I think that's a good one. We haven't had that one before.
We haven't
as an answer to that question. Sorry, I thought you were going to say something then.
No, I was just like, awkwardly laughing.
Oh, okay. What's number 5? What's the fifth one?
Number 5 was, what's a conspiracy theory that you don't believe in?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Flip the script.
We're actually getting the full set of questions out tonight.
Yeah, we are.
We've never done. We always miss one.
Flat Earth.
We don't believe in that either, man. Let's be real.
Yeah, we had a flat earther reach out to us, but I've not had him on. Some weird guy,
some flat earther
who had like 50,000 subscribers though, who was like, "Let me come on your podcast," and I was like, "Yeah, we'll get there," but I just haven't had a chance to do it yet.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this Melbourne band who they've come out? It came out that like they were for going to the lockdown protests, and then eventually like it came out that like they're flat earthers and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, no. That kind of doesn't help their credibility, because I'm all for protesting at the moment. There's some things that I agree with.
I'm all for protesting, but I don't know about
protesting and also being flat earthers. That doesn't help.
Well, is there any other questions? Or?
Yeah, so do you want to hit him with the final question?
This one's the only important question, really. All of those are just to set up this as the pinnacle. I don't know if you've listened to any of our other episodes yet, but if you haven't, then this one's going to rock you to your very core, this question. All right. Now, the question is, would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? So one big fuck off duck.
Don't give him context. Don't fucking contextualize it.
A bunch
of 100 mean ass little horses, or just one lame ass horse-sized duck.
Are they specifically like duck sized?
Yeah. So they're like they're horses, but they're the size of ducks. But then there's 100 of them. But then there's one duck that's the size of a horse.
I go with the 100 maybe.
Yes,
You go with the
finally.
100.
No one's been agreeing with me lately.
Everyone's been agreeing with me. They'd rather fight the fucking big duck horse.
Dude, like ducks are pretty like aggressive when they're small, so like a big one's gonna be, and like you gotta, if it's like that big, it probably have like a lot of muscle mass and like probably like can take you out. But 100 like small things, you start like eating them or something, you know?
Yes, eating them. I'm so glad. This is why I love that question, man, because we get a different answer and a different basis for the answer every time.
Yeah.
And no two are ever the same. So that is fantastic.
All right. I think we wrap it up here, Zico. Thank you very much, my friend.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
You did well. You started off a bit rocky, but you fucking brought it home very strong.
Dude, I've had like the worst like public speaking anxiety, you know, growing up even, you know, like I was always like the shyest sort of kid, you know, and I just don't know why I was so drawn to, you know, making music, but here we are.
Well, there you go, man.
Now, you've got your podcast badge now as well, man. Honorary. I'll pin that on the jacket for you there, man. You've done very well, and we will definitely be having you back on. I will be sharing the songs to the podcast page as well, and doing everything I can to get the name out there, man, because you absolutely deserve it. And thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us.
Can I share one last thing?
Yeah,
definitely, man.
Absolutely.
So I've got a phone call tomorrow at 10 a.m. with a lawyer, and he's going to look over some paperwork. So yeah, I already got a good feeling about it. So, you know, you just got to do your due diligence and get a lawyer to look over it anyway. But, you know, things are looking up.
Yeah.
You know. So, yeah, it's all coming together, Millhouse, or whatever you said. It's all coming up, Millhouse.
Very, very, very good, brother. Will you take care of yourself, man?
Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Easy. See you, bro.